So a perennial question that nobody ever asks is is there a place for Dionysus? Is the entire vein of Dionysian um, thought and Dionysian reality, this has come to mean a libertine, um, pleasure-seeking, um, instinctual in the worst kind of way um, archetype. This Dionysus is in all, honestly, is all of that. There's all of the pleasure seeking, the investment in pleasure of the body. These are aspects of Dionysus. So, what are we going to do with that? Is that something we need to purge from our psyche? Do we need to get rid of Dionysus and put him in chains, basically? What's going to happen if we do that? Now, nobody who really understands what's going on in terms of the dynamics of the Dionysian world would actually want to do that. The pleasure-seeking, the feral male archetype is a necessary part of our reality. This is an important part of being a human being. I've spoken in my last video about how the Dionysian archetype was basically conscripted into the Mars archetype. Mars went from being an agricultural deity and one of protecting the harvest to being a god of the Roman army. And in a lot of ways, this was a very positive thing. This shows how masculinity needs to be tempered, it needs to be forged, it needs to be constantly tested and refined. It literally gives birth to the solar world. Archetype is a liminal archetype in many ways, but it's extremely practical, and it needs to be cultivated, where we get martial arts from this. We get our the masculine in the feminine world is the basic definition for Mars. This has as I've said, it has an instinctual, basically the fire of sexuality comes out of this, and that is something we need to celebrate. When we celebrate it in a debauched way, we have problems, but we need to also be careful not to completely vilify this archetype and allow it room to breathe. The male who is feminized is not that's a sign of a dysfunctional Mars, or a Mars that's been sublimated into the feminine world. This happens regularly. We get cornered into it by circumstance. It's a rare thing to be able to hold onto it in a way that's going to meet everybody's needs. So it needs to be tested. It needs to be refined. It needs to be, to use a Dionysian metaphor, it needs to be allowed to ferment into wine. But the wine here is not an intoxicant. The wine here is something that is refined and has become inviolable. It won't go bad. It's in some ways, I think the Dionysians would probably use the wine metaphor for like going from a Mars archetype into a Jupiter archetype, which is the spiritualized male who Jupiter does what he wants in the world of women. He is the golden boy who gives the goddess what she wants, and she in turn gives back gifts. And this is the uplift of Jupiter. Jupiter sits, as I said, on the shoulders of Mars, as does the entire solar world. Because if you don't have a strong Mars, you're basically not looking at things in the way they truly are. You're not participating in this fire of individuation. And as I said in the last video, this the Mars as soldier is a really great metaphor for us, because if you can think about like a new recruit getting yelled at and intimidated and hazed by a drill sergeant, if you see that as being in many ways an act of love, where this is a test. This is a test of how did your mother do? Where are you at with all of this? Are you able to hold on to your masculine flame while it is being essentially assaulted and intimidated, and you're being told that you're nothing, you're garbage? You have to, basically agree, while knowing that what's happening is your purification. It's a sort of a mortification idea. That's a very spiritual one that is also so easily perverted and turned into something very toxic. This is the limen here of the psyche. I mean, can we hold on to this masculine flame and allow it to be tempered, or do we let it go out? Do we allow ourselves to be brainwashed and indoctrinated through this? And this also depends on who's doing it. Who is this? Is your drill sergeant doing it because he had a bad mommy? But again, that's up to you what you do with that. It doesn't matter what his situation was with his mommy or daddy. Doesn't matter, because it's they can try and kill you, but that's generally not the point of all this. So there is a place for Dionysus, is where I'm going with this. Dionysus is only really valuable when there is a woman who, or a partner, if you will, who is in that sacred relationship with you. The Adonis, the beautiful male, that moves quickly into the Venusian area. The captivation, and that's also kind of Jupiter too, the captivation through uplift. Mars is not that. Mars has got to be have his feet on the ground constantly. He's harvesting those grapes, and his spirit does become like that wine over time, but it doesn't float off into some spiritualized ideal. This is extremely practical. All right. If this is of interest, you know where to find me, michaelmsuter.com. Daimon, Daimon, seed astrologer.